Ooh yeah, JuiceMan Benji here, and welcome to the second episode of the FutureGenGamers show, where we focus on the games and the gamers, but not the gimmicks. Today, we're going to witness a flying tank, and we're going to talk about VR and crossplay in gaming, as well as promoting our second member of the FGG club. So let's do this! This week's Woddaflip comes from Tio, and it's from Battlefield 4. So we got another Battlefield game for the second week in a row. Now last week we had a flying horse, but this week we got something even bigger and more explosive. Now basically what you're going to witness here is someone using their initiative when you've run out of all options and you've got no weapons, but you've just got bombs at your disposal, and your target is a helicopter miles away. So obviously you're not going to just chuck them at the helicopter because they're too far away. Instead, you can plant them underneath a tank, and then Bob's your uncle. Job done. Now that was too damn savage. The first top story we're going to cover is the recent news that Microsoft are in talks with Sony to introduce crossplay. Now apparently the talks have stalled because Sony are quite reluctant to join forces with Xbox due to security reasons, I believe. I'm not really sure if I buy into that reason 100%, but if you look at Sony's track record with online security, then it's possible. But on the other hand, it could just be a ploy from Microsoft to look like the good guys, since their reputation fell off a little bit since they announced the Xbox One, and it could possibly be a tactic for them to improve their reputation again amongst gamers. But that's just pure speculation from me. But if this is genuinely what Microsoft want to do, then I think Sony should get their heads out between their bum cheeks and open their arms. And if crossplay actually happened, I think they should limit the amount of games that it's available for. What do you all think about this? Do you want Sony to agree with crossplay with Microsoft and Nintendo? Or do you agree with Sony's stance to stay away and exercise their grudges against Xbox and Microsoft, I'm not sure why, and maintain that rivalry? And do you also think this is a genuine move from Microsoft to unite gaming? Let me know. Moving on to our second top story, which is focusing on VR, specifically on news reporting that Sony are investing a lot of money in AAA games for VR, as well as indie games of course. So Sony are going all in for their PlayStation VR headset. And now hearing about this news, I think it's a good opportunity to talk about the value of VR and if it's had a good impact on the industry so far. When it first came out, I thought it was a bit of a gimmick, but when it was used for the latest Resident Evil game, it actually got really good feedback in general. So I think if all this money and time and effort is being put into VR, especially into I think the horror genre, where I think you'll have the best impact, then I think VR could be here to stay for longer than most people predicted. Because a lot of skeptics were saying that it was a gimmick and it was going to fail, just like 3D did for movies as well as games. I think 3D was introduced for games, but that flopped. I don't think anyone wanted to blind themselves playing games, but with VR, if they can market it correctly, I think it could be really good for the industry. But as long as they stay away from, as I said, from certain genres and focus on horror, racing, and maybe exploration games, then it should do well. But then if they start throwing it into FIFA and Call of Duty and every single game on the planet, then it's just going to get rejected super duper quick. So we'll see how that goes. Let me know what you think about VR and the future of it. Is it going to be here for the long term or the short term? Let me know in the comments below. introducing the second member of the FGG club, TerrosKid. He's got an amazing channel all about retro gaming and Nintendo mainly. A really unique channel coming up on the scene. And in his latest video, he talks about how Mario is no longer a plumber, which took me by surprise. But when you see his whole video, you do come to realize that, Mario did literally everything except plumbing.
Why not make a game about him plumbing? Can you imagine that? Fucking Super Mario Switch Plumbers Edition? That'd be lit. You get like a freaking Mario plunger and shit. That'd be dope as hell.
But anyways, check out the rest of the video and make sure to check out the rest of his channel and subscribe if you enjoy it. I'll leave the links on the video now, and I'm gonna see myself out. Thanks for tuning in to the FGG show again, and I'll see you later, folks.